In today's video, we bring you another story of a cat I once known and loved. His name was Elmer. Fun fact about Elmer is that he was the only male cat we ever owned, and his story on how we got him is pretty unique. We did rescue him, but not from a shelter. If you want to continue further in this video on how we got Elmer, then why not grab a snack or two and enjoy the story of Elmer the cat. This was probably a few months after Mia came into my life, but that story will come in another video. It was early April on a Friday since at this time I was at a sleepover, and my mom was taking my sister to a sleepover a little ways in our neighborhood. While my mom was walking down the street with my sister to drop her off to her sleepover, they heard a meow in the distance. They stopped to look and listen, then realized it must be coming from underneath a tree or bush that was close by. They kept looking and listening, then spotted a light tan cat underneath a tree. He didn't run, he just stayed there. My mom picked him up that night and took him to our house for shelter since it was a bit cold that night. She put him in her bathroom with food and fresh water in a litter box. He took to the food and fresh water okay, meaning he was doing very well. Now you're wondering, why did we name him Elmer? My late uncle named him that. He just randomly blurted out a name and he responded quickly to that. Since Elmer had a flea collar on, he obviously was owned by someone else. So the next morning, which I got to meet him then, we made flyers and put them out throughout the whole neighborhood. Now these flyers were out for at least a month or so no one claimed him, which was sad because he was a very nice cat. As much as I would hate to admit it, I think he was abandoned the way he was found. He was very skinny when we found him, with a weak meow, like maybe laryngitis, we call it, yeah. And all his life, he was afraid that he would miss a meal, so he would eat more than normal, which made him gain weight in the process to the point he was overweight. And since my mom and sister was able to pick him up with no fight, he obviously had human interaction before. Since during the long period we had him, Hope and Mia got along with him, so we decided to keep him. Now let's talk about Elmer. Elmer was the complete opposite of Mia. Mia is that type of cat that trusts only me. But Elmer was a social butterfly. Like, the moment my mom and sister found him, like most cats, when you go up to them, they run away. Not Elmer. Elmer loved everyone, and was the most talkative, which made his character even more charming. Another interesting character he was that if you put your hand above his head, he would jump up to reach it. He did often go outside from time to time, since that's how we found him. Our neighborhood in Pittsburgh was kind of private, so the chances of him getting lost or hit by a car was very slim. It was when we moved to Toledo, we stopped Elmer from going outside, since the place we stayed at had more cars, movement, and that was my biggest fear of him getting hit by a car or him getting attacked, or I just didn't want to risk it, so he was inside for the time being when we were in Toledo. Of course, the next part is how we lost him, which isn't an easy part for all pet parents. Unlike Hope, where we were able to figure out how she died, we never got the chance to figure out what was wrong with Elmer, since he died while they were taking x-rays. I don't remember the exact day, but one day Elmer was just laying all day, not interested in food, and didn't want to drink any water, which concerned me a lot since Elmer loved food. I told my parents and we rushed him to the vet. The vet looked at him and did an examination on him. They took him back to do some blood work so we could see what was going on, see if there was anything unusual that we needed to get straightened right away. There was one thing that was elevated. The vet did give us a pill to what we thought it could be, and she also gave us soft food and a syringe and fluids. The vet also said if we see no improvements, go ahead and do an x-ray to see what the problem really was. After that, he did have some ups and downs. He was walking a little bit by himself, which was good, but the downside was that he didn't want to eat. He would fight for the syringe. It was until early Monday we decided to just go ahead and take him for an x-ray. Of course, I was in school at the time, so my dad took him. As they were about to take an x-ray, he just passed away on the table. He passed peacefully on his own. The vet told my dad, and he couldn't believe it. So instead of calling me while I was at school, he waited until I was home to tell me. I think Elmer's death was more of a surprise than Hope's was, because Hope had the weakest immune system out of all my cats, and if something affected her, it was going to happen fast. Elmer didn't have any medical issues besides having an eating disorder, which he was afraid that he was going to starve. Of course, I grieved that whole night, and it took me a long time to heal from the loss of Elmer. But I'm doing okay as of today. Of course, once I did my grieving with Elmer, 3 years later, Hope passed away. Elmer passed away on April 25th, 2016. So tomorrow will be Elmer's death anniversary. He has been gone for at least 4 years, which it has gone fast. He died, we don't know how old he was when we got him, so my range is, I think he died either when he was 8 or 9. I am kind of glad that I did have the time to care for Elmer for the time he was on Earth. I think God placed him into my life in that moment for a reason. I wish I would have known about the whole YouTube career thing sooner, so I could have made videos with Hope and Elmer while they were still alive. That's why with Mia, I'm going to do just that. Mia is the last cat of the 3 amigos, the original pack. It was Hope, Mia, and Elmer. So that's why I'm including Mia in the channel. So, along with Barry. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Another legacy video of Elmer. If you want to continue our journey through YouTube, hit that subscribe button and just enjoy the journey. Thank you.